Every day, students in Shamali housing have their daily cuisines from dining hall in a plastic dish and eat it with plastic appliances. Then they throw the leftovers into the bin for recycling the plastics in Qatar. However, there are millions of people in Kazakhstan who, after using the plastic products, throw them in general waste due to the lack of recycling system. Yet, plastic is an imperative stressor for climate change in both of these countries. Currently, the rate of recycling plastic in Kazakhstan is less than that of Qatar and other developed countries. If the rate is not going to increase, it compromises the life of not only marine animals, but human beings as well. People got so used to billboards and non-stop ads that remind about the hazards the plastics bring. Today, Kara's podcast will argue that recycling must be enforced in developing countries such as Kazakhstan as it has tremendous effects on marine life, soil, and people's health. Imagine being trapped inside a huge plastic bag. Each year, more than 1 million marine creatures and other birds and animals die from plastic trash. Plastics are choking the oceans throughout the globe. United Nations Environment reports that by 2050, the oceans will have more plastic than fish. Since the last century, most of the developed countries such as Japan, the USA, Switzerland, and Germany have made their system of recycling. Nevertheless, few people know that, starting from the 1950s, humanity has already lost half of the global coral reefs and 90% of the giant species of fishes. It is tiring to always hear about the hazards of plastic without the actual information on the relation between coral reefs, humanity, and plastics. To understand the significance of the rising problem, you have to know that coral reefs are the main nursery grounds for most of the marine life of the ocean. If the coral reefs will face destruction, the domino effect will rapidly follow by threatening other species in not only marine ecosystems, but leading to the mass extinction on the planet. People play a vigorous role here, as it was proven that the interaction of coral reefs with plastic consequences in the growth of disease on coral reefs from 4% to 89%. Kazakhstan does not have coral reefs on its territory, yet the impact of plastic is great on soil and human health too. If people will not stop using plastic or start recycling properly, the oceans, along with terrestrial ecosystems, will be diseased irreversibly. Saving the ecosystem is imperative to protecting the future of the planet and the species of it. The impact of plastic on marine life was explained. Yet, should the largest landlocked country worry about the environment? Kazakhstan is located in Central Asia, and similar to the bordering countries, they do not have much experience in dealing with plastic waste. Annually, a single Kazakh family throws out about 500 plastic bottles. However, the recycling rate in Kazakhstan is only about 0.3%. Which puts it on top of the list of the worst recycling countries in the world. People might consider that if Kazakhstan has no open road to the ocean, they are not harming the marine environment, particularly the coral reefs. However, Kazakhstan on its territory has the largest sea, Caspian Sea, with the endangered species of fish and other water inhabitants such as sturgeon and Caspian seals. As within any other water environment, for example, plastic bags are killing these animals by choking and entering their food chain. More importantly, as the country is managing its waste in landfills, the quality of soil is in danger. In short-term contact, the plastics might not be as hazardous, but scientists from Netherlands have proven that plastics, particularly polyester fibers, can enter the earthly food chain through the ingestion of filaments by soil inhabitants. Additionally, Scientists have established the dangerous effect plastics have on soil, which results in deprived weed growth. Thus, developing countries such as Kazakhstan should control the management of plastic waste, as it is precarious for overcoming the diseases that threaten the ecosystem's health. The connection with the ocean does not play a vital role here, as plastics affect not only the marine environment, but soil as well. People might argue that this is the first world country problems. It was proven by United Nations that developing countries have threats such as hunger, lack of education, and unemployment. Yet, the refusal to recycle will lead to increase in mortality rate. The problem most people ignore is that plastics do not kill only animals or the ecosystem, but also the human population. Annually, the planet faces up to a million deaths due to poor waste management. Aside from destroying the welfare of the farmers and fishers and consequently leading them to death, the toxins plastics spread into the atmosphere directly kill people. Macro or microplastics, once revealed, pollutes the water supply that people need for survival. If they enter the human body, it will lead to inflammation, genotoxicity, oxidative stress, apoptosis, and necrosis. These diseases are connected to the rest of the health consequences such as cancer, cardiovascular diseases, inflammatory bowel diseases, diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, chronic inflammation, autoimmune conditions, neurodegenerative diseases, and stroke. Most of the listed illnesses lead to the fatality, therefore, people should pay close consideration to the given setback. Thus, considering the plastics as the first world problem is a misconception that countries use which will shepherd to irreversible casualties. So how are we gonna help our planet and improve the aftermath of plastics? 3 R's: recycling, reusing, and reducing the number of plastic materials. The recycling systems from the developed countries could be taught in developing countries. For example, Germany, by recycling just over 66%, became the leading country in recycling plastic. Additionally, the German government requires its companies to use or make reusable or recyclable wrapping. If these rules and systems were applied to the developing countries, it would reduce the amount of unmanaged plastic. Furthermore, reusing the plastic for different purposes will help as well. For instance, IKEA implemented a new policy in 2008 which offered their customers to purchase an IKEA blue bag for $50 or use their own. As the result, 92% of clients participated in reusing their old bags. If smaller companies were following their paths, the amount of plastic in the world would significantly decrease. For reducing the number of plastic materials, another global brand has shown a good example. By 2020, Starbucks plans to eliminate all plastic straws from their 28,000 stores. Plastics come from different industries, but as of now, global companies, mainly in the US, are reducing the use of plastics in their manufacture. Other foreign companies should follow their lead. It would be even more effective if the government of Kazakhstan and other Central Asian countries trailed after them by at least banning plastic bags and straws in the country. Okay, folks, let's wrap up what we have learned today from Kara's podcast. Plastics play a vital role in current society as the main influencer on the soil, water, and human well-being. If people will not understand the effects plastic has on these elements, the planet will face extinction in marine animals, terrestrial animals, and humans. As of now, most of the developing countries like Kazakhstan are avoiding recycling. It is due to the presence of issues such as hunger and lack of education. However, plastics should be considered a deathly issue all over the globe, not only in first world countries. Thank you for listening to today's podcast. It was Kara with you, and see you next time.